You can actually kill smashers, which is a huge thing for this game because previously smashers were practically Thanos on cocaine and they would not die. So this change is actually a pretty good change in my opinion. Alrighty boys, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Save the World Design Chat Meta Shift blog for Fortnite Save the World, and this is basically Epic Games' response to the community's feedback about update version 11.30. This was the update that introduced the Husks AI changes and some of the trap changes that the community wasn't really happy about. I had made a video talking about it and it got around 50,000 views in a very short amount of time, showing that this is something that the community actually cares a lot about because these changes were not the best of changes. So basically in this blog, this is Epic Games' response to the community and their feedback regarding this patch, and actually we do have some pretty positive things to go over in today's video. Although this blog is not perfect, and I'll be elaborating on that more as we get into the video. Now, before we do jump into the blog, I do want to mention, as I do in pretty much every video, my code right now on gfuel.com is 30% off on practically everything on the website, including the new flavor. If you guys would like to support the channel, then I would greatly appreciate it. If you guys do pick up anything, please send me a tweet on Twitter so I can hit you with a follow and a retweet, because I definitely do appreciate the support. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this, and let's take a look at this blog. So I'll be reading it piece by piece, giving my own feedback, and then at the end of the video I'll kind of have a little bit of an overview amount of feedback about this entire blog. Like I said, we got some positive stuff here, but not everything is perfect. So taking a look at this blog, it starts off by saying, hey everyone, we're here with some further discussion on some of the balance changes that were made in the version 11.30 update, along with our thoughts behind them. We've been closely monitoring the feedback since the release, and we're happy to inform you that a recent hotfix will address some of your concerns, meaning that there is a hotfix right now that has affected the game in a positive light, and they'll talk about this a little bit more later. They say one of our primary goals was to shift the meta so that trap tunnels remain important and do the bulk of the work. However, this will also require some active player participation to keep them intact and functional. Ultimately, we want to make gameplay more engaging and fulfilling than passive gameplay, which is why we're introducing these early iterations of a meta shift. Ability damage and health shield buffs are also a step towards that, but we still got some work to do. So basically what they're saying here is that everything that they've done so far isn't entirely complete, and it's something that they'll be changing over time and making additions to, and it's something that's going to be evolving as time goes on, which, you know, kind of raises the question for me, why didn't you just wait to do it all at one time while also getting community feedback before implementing certain changes? That's the main thing for me. I don't know why they added these without asking people first what they thought. I think that would have been a very good thing to do before adding these kinds of changes to the game, but I digress. Let's go ahead and keep on reading the blog. It says, gas traps and floor launchers. We saw gas traps used that allowed affliction to stack and reach damage levels far beyond other traps. We changed the gas trap to no longer deal guaranteed value damage to affliction, but deal massive damage to any enemy that's trapped in its radius. Gas traps are also going to receive an overall 15% damage increase per tick and now mitigate B clouds. There are still a few updates that we need to make to the gas trap, such as the effect duration perk not working properly. So basically this is just more or less the same stuff that we've already known about, although I have no idea how the effect duration perk is going to work. Also, we're unhappy with the overall state of floor launchers and how they were used to deal percent base damage to Husks, and that resulted in floor launcher spam in game modes with high power level scaling like Frostnite Endurance, where floor launchers overperformed compared to other traps. Now, if you guys watched my older video, you guys know that I absolutely love this change. This is one of the best changes that Save the World has ever seen. Previously, floor launchers were able to shoot Husks straight up in the air and have them fall straight down and die immediately. This made the floor launcher the best damaging trap and the best crowd control trap in the entire game, and it's a change that we've been needing to see for a very long time now, something I'm really glad that they did change. Now, they go on to talk about propane tanks, and this is the big one right here. This is the main issue a lot of people have. Previously, damage to trap tunnels would be caused by stray shots and other player errors that detonated the pile of propane tanks on the floor. Sploders no longer drop propanes and now actively attack the tunnels so that you need to react to counter them. Sploders also self-destruct when below 1/3 HP if damaged by a trap, so they are still a threat to trap tunnels. Overall, we wanted Husks to have an additional tool that are effective against tunnels, but the Sploders and Smasher changes and the newly added healer Husks. So basically what they're saying here is that the changes that they did make to propane tanks were intentional, that they are supposed to self-destruct at 1/3 health if they're damaged by a trap, and the point of this was to make it to where the player has to be more engaging in trying to kill these husks in the trap tunnel itself to prevent stuff like this from happening. Now, they have changed my opinion on this in the hotfix that they released, and I'm going to go ahead and read it now, even though it's a little bit down the blog post. I'm going to go and read it now, and, let me know what you guys think about this. So they say that we've released a hotfix, and this is what they were talking about earlier, it's already in the game, to reduce the scaling of Husks and Endurance Frostnite in the upper part of Twine Peaks. This will make Smashers and Sploders more manageable. Aside from the scaling adjustments, we're going to be taking a look at some of the underperforming weapons and traps to see where we can make adjustments. Basically what they're saying is that they reduce the power level of the Husks that are in the higher end missions like Twine Peaks, high-end Twine Peaks, Frostnite, and Endurance. So there was actually a post made by Moth, and this is one of the best Save the World players that have ever played this game. Dude's a legend. He made a kind of spreadsheet thing to kind of showcase what this change looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on screen, and you guys can see on the left side, this is the power level 128 Frostnite since the hotfix, and on the right side is the power level 128 Frostnite, before the hotfix. So basically, you can already see, if you look at wave 20, the Propane Husks are going to be around level 227, and the previous, hotfix, before the hotfix, the Husks were around power level 305. And honestly, this is a pretty good change in my opinion. Previously, before the hotfix, Twine Peaks, if you were to do like a 4-player 140 mission, the Husks would get around power level 170, and they were still kind of manageable with your weapons and trap tunnels and stuff. So seeing Frostnite be at 227 since the hotfix actually is pretty decent overall, although I am pretty scared that this is going to make Frostnite way too easy of an activity. However, going back to the changes that they made to the Propane Husks, this kind of makes me feel a little bit different because it's not going to be as big of a deal whenever you are fighting them. If Epic Games truly wants us to sit in our trap tunnels and actually help deal damage to the Husks, having the Husk be at lower power level is going to make it to where they deal less damage to us and that we deal more damage to them. Which is a pretty good thing, meaning that Propane Husks previously were pretty annoying as to where you could, be shooting them with a bundle bust while they're at low health, and they're still not gonna die, and they would still detonate anyways. However, now, this is a little bit more manageable, and the kind of dangers of being inside of your trap tunnel, like having issues where takers are gonna kill you instantly, or gunslingers are gonna kill you instantly, and all that kind of stuff, is kind of taken away by the fact that the power level has been reduced. Like I said, I haven't really played enough to see these changes in action too much, and I'll probably be streaming a normal Frostnite run tomorrow on my Twitch stream, and we'll be doing 128 with damage traps and stuff like that and seeing exactly how this change works. But on paper it sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound too, making the game way too annoying in the sense where you just have to hide from everything on your screen. However, like I said, I am concerned that this is going to make the game a little too easy when running Frostnite 128, and there were some definite other things that they probably could have done aside from just doing that. Moving on, they talked about Smashers, and they say, true to their name, Smashers were always intended to wreck structures. Before the change, Smashers had an easily exploitable long-standing bug with their AI that prevented them from recognizing certain edited structures as valid targets. Basically what they're talking about here is backwards ramps as well as edited floor pieces that would prevent Smashers from actually doing their job. They say the correlation of that bug along with the change to floor launchers revealed an underlying issue with Husk scaling and Frostnite and Endurance, and this left players without viable counterplay to Smashers at high levels. And this was one of the feedbacks that I had, or some of the feedback that I gave, where Smashers were just unkillable, and you would have to literally place walls to have them hit on to prevent them from destroying everything else, and it was so annoying. But now, due to this hotfix, Smashers are actually, you can deal with them. I watched Chedic's video, I watched some around Tic Tac's live stream, and you can actually kill Smashers, which is a huge thing for this game because previously Smashers were practically Thanos on cocaine and they would not die. So this change is actually a pretty good change in my opinion. I'm very happy with this, and seeing the gameplay that I have seen, making it to where you can actually kill the Husks is great. Like I said previously, just hoping that it doesn't make the game too easy. Hopefully the trap changes can make it to where the game is still slightly challenging on top of this lower power level stuff. They go on to say at the bottom, thank you so much for the constructive feedback since 11.30 went live. Your patience and participation has helped us a ton, and we're looking forward to see how everybody feels about these upcoming changes. Be on the lookout for more updates on the meta in the future, basically talking about how they will be releasing more of this, updating it as time goes on. Now, looking at this Reddit Reddit post, I see that it has a 24% upvote ratio, meaning that only not even a fourth of the community even bothered to upvote this post. In my opinion, I feel as though the community is playing way too aggressive with these changes. I mean, this post came out 3 hours ago. We haven't even got to play this patch for 3 hours and people are already reacting negatively. That is why I put a lot of, little disclaimers in this video, as though I haven't played this fully yet and I don't know the full intentions or, how everything properly works, but I'm just going by what they say on paper. And on paper, this post looks pretty decent. Like I said, the only concern I have is that it's going to make the game a little too easy, but I don't know that for sure yet until I actually play it and actually have some time in Fortnite and do a couple runs. But I feel as though the community is being way too negative on this personally, and I totally get it. I made that video a while ago. There were a lot of changes that I really did not like, but given what Epic Games has given us right here, until we have some more time with the patch, I don't think it's entirely fair to react entirely negatively. On paper, it looks pretty decent, and I kind of like where they're going with on this. We're actually making to where Husks can actually die in Endurance and in Fortnite. If you're going to nerf the traps, then therefore you should nerf the power levels to allow us to use our weapons, seeing as traps aren't going to be doing 100% of the work. And so this is something that on paper sounds pretty good. I will update you guys as time goes on as to how I feel about it. We're going to be running Fortnite tomorrow, going to be running a lot of high-end activity to see how things go, and I'll keep you guys updated on what I think. But that's pretty much it for this video and this entire blog post that came from Epic Games. I do want to hear your opinions in the comments down below, as well as your concerns. Guys, please keep it to constructive feedback. I want to hear every single thing that you guys have to say, because as a community, this isn't going to get better unless we work together and tell Epic Games what we want and why we want it. So if you guys think this is a good update, let me know. If you think it's a bad update, let me know and why. I'm going to give it some more time before I give a definitive opinion on it, but that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, as I make videos like this almost every single day. Subscribe if you're new and like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time.